Judgment is not an argument, it is a spiritual fact that silences all debate. It is the final word spoken after all evidence has been weighed, and for a select few, that final word has just been spoken. A gavel has fallen in a courtroom you never knew you were in, on a case you were never told was being tried. For the longest time, a clandestine prosecution has been building a case against you in the shadows, using your silence as confession and your kindness as weakness. But they made a fatal error. They assumed the judge was one of them. They assumed the jury could be bought with whispers and lies. Overnight, the case was called, the evidence was reviewed, and the decision has been made. And your attendance is now mandatory, not to stand trial but to witness the verdict being executed. Chapter 1. The summons you cannot ignore. This is not a letter that arrives in the mail. There will be no email notification, no text message pinging on your phone. This summons is an energetic fact, a frequency that has been broadcast directly to your spirit. You have already felt it. It is the sudden stillness in a chaotic day, the inexplicable urge to be alone, the feeling of being watched not by human eyes, but by something ancient and vast. It might have manifested as a physical sensation, a jolt of energy in your spine, a ringing in your ears that has no medical cause, or a sudden, profound calm that settles over you like a weighted blanket in the middle of a crisis. This is the universe telling you to report for duty. Attendance is mandatory because the event is already in motion. You are not being asked to participate, you are being informed that your role has been activated. For years, you moved through the world feeling like a guest, sometimes an unwelcome one. You tiptoed around certain people, you lowered your voice, you made yourself small to keep a fragile peace. You instinctively knew which topics to avoid, which successes to downplay, which truths to swallow to prevent ruffling the feathers of the insecure. That was the old operational agreement. That contract has been terminated. The summons you feel is the notification of that termination. It is a divine recall, pulling your energy out of agreements that no longer serve your assignment. Think of it like being an undercover agent who has been deep in enemy territory for a long time. You played a part, you gathered intelligence, you endured isolation, and you never broke your cover. The intelligence you gathered wasn't about troop movements, it was about the mechanics of fear, the language of the ego, and the subtle poison of manipulation. But now, the mission has changed. Your handler is on the line, and the message is clear: come in. Your work there is done. The feeling you are experiencing now, that pull inward, that detachment from dramas that used to hook you, is your spiritual extraction. You are being pulled out of the matrix of their control. This is why conversations feel different. You hear the words, but you also hear the agenda beneath them. You see the smile, but you also see the calculation behind the eyes. It's as if a veil has been lifted, and you can suddenly see the code behind the simulation. This is not you becoming cynical. This is you having your original spiritual senses restored. The summons is a recalibration. Your energetic system is being upgraded to perceive the truth, unfiltered and immediate. People who could once easily read you will now find you illegible. Their attempts to gauge your mood or anticipate your moves will fail, leaving them confused and powerless. Your energy is no longer an open book for them to scribble their insecurities in. It is now a sealed document, accessible only by divine clearance. The mandatory nature of this attendance is not a threat, it is a protection. If you were given a choice, you might hesitate. You might ask for more time, you might try to reason with those who are about to be judged, you might try to save people who have no intention of being saved. The universe is removing that choice to protect you from your own compassion. Your empathy has been a beautiful gift, but it has also been weaponized against you. People have used your good heart as a way to manipulate you, to keep you entangled in their karma, using your kindness as a fuel source for their own dysfunctional lives. This mandatory summons is a cosmic intervention. It is heaven drawing a hard line and saying, this far and no further. They do not get to access this part of you anymore. This energy is now reserved for the next assignment. Your attendance is required in the seat of the observer. You are being moved from the playing field to the skybox. Your job is no longer to be in the fight. Your job is to watch the inevitable outcome of the fight you have already won. This is why you feel a strange sense of peace amidst the chaos. While the world is spinning faster, you are finding your center. While others are panicking, you are breathing deeper. This is the first effect of your summons. You have been placed in the eye of the storm. You are anchored while everything not built on truth begins to shake apart. Accept this summons. Do not fight the urge to retreat. Do not apologize for your sudden need for silence. You are not being antisocial, you are reporting to headquarters. You are clocking in for the next phase of your life, and the first order of business is to sit still and watch as the old world you came from receives its final, unappealable verdict. To anchor the energy of this verdict and make it an irreversible fact in your reality, like this video. To join the collective of the anointed who are answering this divine summons and amplifying its power, subscribe. To sign your name on the divine register and confirm your attendance in this new era, comment with the divine code 77. This is your energetic signature, your official and final RSVP to the universe. Replay this transmission in the background to saturate your spirit with this truth, to let the frequency of this victory recalibrate your subconscious while you rest, writing old programs of doubt and replacing them with the undeniable code of your vindication. This is not a request. It is your first assignment. Chapter 2. The evidence that vindicated you in any trial. A verdict is reached based on evidence. In the divine tribunal that just concluded in your favor, the prosecution presented a mountain of what they believed was damning evidence against you. They presented your silence as arrogance. They presented your periods of retreat and isolation as proof of instability. They twisted your kindness into a narrative of manipulation, claiming you only gave to create dependency. They took your moments of vulnerability and painted them as pathetic attempts for attention. They built a meticulous, slanderous case, piece by piece, in the court of human opinion and in the energetic realms. They were so confident in their presentation. They had receipts, or so they thought. They had screenshots, twisted conversations, and a chorus of witnesses all singing the same song of your alleged failure. This was playground justice based on perception and popular opinion. But the divine court does not operate on hearsay. It does not accept doctored evidence. It has access to a type of data that cannot be faked, soul data. And the evidence that vindicated you, the evidence that threw their entire case out, was the very pain they caused you. Every tear you cried in private when no one was watching? That was Exhibit A. Those tears were not evidence of your weakness, they were saline proof of your pure heart's response to impurity. Each drop was collected, analyzed, and logged as testimony to your genuine nature. While they were laughing and celebrating their perceived victory, your grief was being entered into the cosmic record as unimpeachable proof of your innocence. The nights you spent awake, wrestling with confusion and betrayal, praying for clarity? That was Exhibit B. Your sleeplessness was not a sign of a guilty conscience. It was the transcript of a soul refusing to become bitter, a spirit fighting to maintain its light in overwhelming darkness. The universe recorded every single question you asked, every plea for strength, and filed it under character witness testimony. Your perseverance became your own best defense attorney. Another crucial piece of evidence was every prediction you made, every piece of wise counsel you offered that was ignored, only for events to prove you right. Each time you saw the pitfall they were walking toward and warned them, only to be mocked as negative or controlling, that was recorded. The inevitable outcome where they fell into that exact pitfall was the universe's validation of your foresight. This wasn't you being a know-it-all, this was proof of your connection to a higher truth, a truth they were too arrogant to heed. Think about the times you were given the perfect opportunity for revenge, and you chose not to take it. The moments you could have exposed them, shared their secrets, and brought their world crashing down with a single sentence, but you stayed silent. That wasn't weakness. That was Exhibit C, restraint under duress. In the divine court, choosing mercy when you have the power to destroy is considered the highest form of spiritual strength. Your refusal to stoop to their level was not you letting them get away with it. It was you submitting a powerful piece of evidence that you operate under a different, higher jurisdiction. They thought your silence meant they had won. In reality, your silence was you respectfully declining to participate in their low vibrational court system, instead deferring to the Supreme Court of the cosmos. Meanwhile, their own words became evidence against them. Every lie they told created an energetic debt. Every piece of gossip was a debit against their own soul's account. They were so busy trying to bankrupt your reputation that they failed to notice they were bankrupting their own spirit. The universe keeps perfect books, and the trial was simply the final audit where their account was found to be in terminal deficit. The most powerful evidence of all was the work you did when no one was watching. The healing you pursued, the books you read, the self-improvement you fought for. The times you chose to forgive not for them, but for you. Every time you got back up after being knocked down, every time you chose love after experiencing hate, you were building your defense. They were busy building a case of lies, while you were busy building a temple of resilience within yourself. And in the end, the temple stood, and their house of cards collapsed. The universe looked at their evidence, the gossip, the lies, the manipulation, and then it looked at its evidence, your scars, your growth, your unrelenting heart. There was no contest. Their case was based on illusion. Yours was based on reality. The decision was made in your favor because your life itself became the rebuttal. You did not have to speak a word in your own defense. Your survival was your testimony. Your continued ability to love was your closing argument. And your light, which they tried so hard to extinguish but only made brighter through the pressure, was the final, undeniable proof that you were not the villain of their story. You were the hero of your own. Chapter 3, Reading the Verdict Aloud. The verdict has been reached, but it is not a quiet, internal affair. A decision of this magnitude is not filed away in some celestial cabinet. It is broadcast. It is read aloud into the energetic fabric of reality, and its consequences are immediate and non-negotiable. The verdict is innocent of all charges and awarded damages. This is the decision made in your favor. But you must understand what this means. This is not just a cosmic pat on the back. It is a fundamental rewriting of the energetic laws governing your life and the lives of those who prosecuted you. The sound of this verdict being read is ripping through the timeline right now. It is a frequency that only certain spirits can hear, but its effects are visible to everyone. It is the spiritual equivalent of a Supreme Court ruling that overturns decades of flawed precedent. It changes everything instantly. The first part of the verdict, innocent of all charges, acts as a universal decree of exoneration. This is a spiritual cleaning of your name. The slander, the lies, the negative energy that was deliberately attached to your reputation, all of it is being energetically nullified. Imagine a divine fire sweeping through the ether, burning away every lie ever spoken about you, every false accusation ever leveled against you. This is happening now. This is why you may feel a sudden lightness, a sense of a burden you didn't even realize you were carrying being lifted from your shoulders. This is the sound of your energetic record being wiped clean. People who were once convinced of your guilt will suddenly find themselves unable to remember why they ever disliked you. The animosity they felt will evaporate like mist in the morning sun, leaving only a confusing void where their judgment used to be. They will not understand it, but they will feel it. They might even reach out with a strange, half-formed apology for something they can no longer clearly define. Do not be surprised. This is not about them forgiving you, it is about the universe revoking their permission to judge you. Their opinion has been declared legally and spiritually irrelevant. The second part of the verdict is where the true power lies, awarded damages. This is the cosmic law of restitution in action. The universe is not a neutral observer, it is a system of perfect balance. For all the energy, time, peace, and resources that were stolen from you during this trial, a repayment is mandatory. This is not a request, it is an order. The verdict being read aloud triggers an automatic transfer of accounts. The favor being granted to you is the collection of these damages. This will manifest in your physical reality in shocking and unexpected ways. Doors that were welded shut will not just open, they will be removed from their hinges. Opportunities that were diverted from you will come rushing back, tripled in value. A forgotten application will suddenly be approved. An idea you had years ago will be funded by an unexpected source. Beyond the material, you will receive restitution in the form of restored health, as chronic ailments linked to the stress of their attacks begin to fade. Your creative energy, long suppressed, will return with the force of a tidal wave. The money, the love, the recognition that was meant for you but was blocked by their interference is now being rerouted back to your address with interest. Even the very time you lost to worry and distress will be returned to you in the form of extended vitality and efficiency. What once took you weeks will now take you hours. And there is a flip side to this transfer, a spiritual return to sender policy that has just been activated. The very same negative intentions they projected onto you are now returning to their point of origin. The chaos they wished for you will now visit their own doorstep. The isolation they tried to impose on you will now become their reality. They will find themselves inexplicably blocked, confused, and drained, experiencing the very same state they worked so hard to create for you. The favor they once enjoyed will curdle. They are experiencing a spiritual repossession. The universe is taking back what was never rightfully theirs and returning it to its rightful owner, you. The verdict is not just a statement. It is an action. It is a cosmic event that rearranges reality to align with divine truth. You are not just being told you won. You are being handed the spoils of a war you did not even realize you were fighting. Chapter 4. The prosecution's panic. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. The reading of the verdict in your favor is an action of immense spiritual force. The reaction is the immediate and total collapse of the prosecution. The panic you are beginning to sense in the air is not your imagination. It is the psychic scream of a collective of souls realizing that their time is up, that the game is over, and that the person they used as a stepping stone is now the mountain they can no longer climb. Their panic is multi-layered, and it will manifest in predictable, observable stages. You are not meant to interfere with this process, you are meant to observe it as confirmation of the verdict. The first stage is confusion. They will feel the energetic shift before they can intellectually process it. The supply of energy they were siphoning from you has been cut off at the source. Suddenly, they feel tired, uninspired, and strangely empty. This will manifest physically as unexplained fatigue, chronic headaches, or a feeling of deep, unshakable cold. The confidence they wore like a second skin will begin to feel thin and ill-fitting. They will look in the mirror and not recognize the hollowed-out person staring back. They will try to perform the same old tricks, tell the same old jokes, pull the same old strings, but the magic will be gone. The audience is no longer laughing. The puppets are no longer dancing. Their charisma, which was largely fueled by stolen energy, will flicker and die. This confusion will be profound because their entire identity was built on the power they held over you and others. Without that power, they are nothing, and they are just beginning to understand this terrifying truth. The second stage is paranoia. As their power wanes, they will begin to see enemies everywhere. The alliances they built on gossip and mutual disdain will begin to crumble under the weight of their own toxicity. They will start to suspect each other. Who snitched? Who exposed the operation? They will turn on one another with a ferocity they once reserved only for you. You will hear whispers of their arguments, stories of their falling out. This is a direct consequence of the verdict. The dark energy that bound them together has been neutralized, and without that toxic glue, all that remains is their individual fear and ambition. They were never friends, they were co-conspirators. And all conspiracies collapse when the light is turned on. They will become obsessed with what you are doing. They will check your social media, ask mutual acquaintances about you, trying to figure out how you suddenly became so blessed. Their scrutiny is no longer a threat, it's a symptom of their powerlessness. They are searching for a secret, a trick, a new scheme, because they cannot comprehend that your victory was earned through integrity, not manipulation. Their social circles will begin to shrink as people, uninfluenced by their glamour, start to see the ugliness and desperation underneath. The third and final stage is desperate exposure. When paranoia and confusion reach a fever pitch, they will begin to make mistakes. Big mistakes. They will overplay their hand, trying to reassert a dominance they no longer possess. They will lash out, sending an angry text, making a public accusation, or starting a rumor so outlandish that it instantly exposes their own instability. This is not a calculated attack, it is a death rattle. They might create a fake profile to comment on your posts or try to sabotage a new opportunity they hear about. These attempts will be clumsy, obvious, and will backfire spectacularly, revealing their hand to everyone. They are trying to get a reaction from you, any reaction, to prove that they still have some effect on your reality. They need your energy, your attention, to feel real. It is crucial during this phase that you do not engage. Your silence is no longer passive, it is a weapon. Your peace is an active demonstration of the verdict's power. By simply living well, by thriving, by radiating the peace of your vindication, you accelerate their unraveling. They built their entire case on the idea of your weakness. Your strength, your joy, your success is the living, breathing rebuttal that they cannot argue with. It is the fact that dismantles their fiction. Watch for these signs. They are not a new attack. They are the undeniable proof that the decision was made, the verdict was read, and the sentence for them is to live in the chaotic reality they created. Chapter 5: Your Divine Sentencing. The burden of favor. You have been found innocent. You have been awarded damages. But there is one final part to this divine judgment, and it is reserved for you alone. This is your sentencing. In the courts of men, a sentence is a punishment, a restriction of freedom. In the divine court, a sentence for the vindicated is the opposite. It is an assignment. It is a mandatory bestowment of a higher level of responsibility and authority. The favor you have been granted is not a life of ease and comfort. It is not a cosmic retirement plan. It is a promotion. You have been deemed worthy of a greater burden, a heavier crown. This is your sentence. You must now become everything they falsely accused you of being, but in its purest, divine form. This is the ultimate spiritual irony. Their accusations were a twisted prophecy of your future glory. They accused you of seeking power? Your sentence is to now wield true spiritual power with wisdom and grace. You are being handed an energetic scepter. People will now be drawn to you not for validation, but for guidance. They will see a light in you that they cannot define but desperately need. You will be placed in positions of leadership not because you campaigned for them, but because events will conspire to put you there. Your sentence is to accept this leadership, to stop hiding your wisdom, to speak with the authority that has been cosmically stamped upon your soul. The days of playing small are over. That is not a suggestion, it is a court order. They accused you of being manipulative, of giving with strings attached. Your sentence is to now become a pure conduit of divine generosity. Resources will flow to you and through you in unprecedented ways. You will be given more than you need so that you can become a source of provision for others. Your sentence is to give freely, without attachment to the outcome, without needing thanks or recognition. You must demonstrate the difference between their transactional kindness and your transformational generosity. You are to become a living example of heaven's economy, where the more you give, the more you are given. This is a test, and it is a sacred duty. You have been trusted with more, and you are being sentenced to manage it with impeccable integrity. They accused you of being too sensitive, too emotional, unable to handle reality. Your sentence is to weaponize that sensitivity. You are now being commissioned as a divine empath, a master of emotional intelligence. Your sensitivity was never a flaw, it was a high-powered antenna picking up on frequencies they could not perceive. Now, you are sentenced to use that antenna to read hearts, to sense truth, to heal emotional wounds in others just by your presence. You must become a safe harbor in a world of emotional chaos, demonstrating that true strength is not the absence of feeling, but the mastery of it. Your tears were not weakness, they were a baptism preparing you for this holy work. They accused you of being delusional, of living in a fantasy world. Your sentence is to now anchor a new reality on this planet. Your so-called delusions were merely previews of a higher frequency reality. You were not crazy, you were just ahead of schedule. Your sentence is to hold that frequency, to be an unwavering beacon of what is possible. You must live your life in a way that proves your fantasy is not only possible but is the inevitable future. You must embody the peace, the joy, and the unconditional love that they called impossible. Your life becomes the blueprint. Your joy becomes the protest. Your very existence becomes the evidence that a better world is not just a dream but a destination. This sentence is heavy. It requires you to operate at a level of integrity you have not yet reached. It will demand more of you than ever before. This favor is not a gift of rest, it is the ultimate spiritual promotion, and the duties are immense. But you were not vindicated to be let off the hook. You were vindicated to be put in charge. Your attendance was mandatory to hear the verdict. Your life is now the mandatory execution of the sentence. Chapter 6. The Gallery of Onlookers. During this entire secret trial, you believed you were completely alone. You felt the isolation, the sting of betrayal, the coldness of a world that seemed to have turned against you. You fought your battles in the dark, thinking no one saw, no one knew, no one cared. This was the greatest illusion of all. The divine courtroom was not empty. While the prosecution presented their flimsy case, the gallery was packed. It was filled with a silent, powerful assembly of onlookers who have been with you every step of the way. You could not see them, but they never took their eyes off you. This gallery was comprised of your ancestors, the ones who broke generational curses so you could stand where you are today. They were not idle observers. They were the spiritual legal team working behind the scenes. The warrior grandmother who survived the unthinkable, the quiet grandfather whose integrity was his only currency. They stood and presented their lives as precedents for your case. They were the ones whispering strength into your spirit on your darkest nights. They were the ones who submitted their own scars and triumphs as evidence of your resilient bloodline. They argued on your behalf in realms you cannot perceive, citing their own endurance as proof that you were built to last. Your victory is their victory, the fulfillment of prayers they uttered long before you were born. Their applause is the warmth you feel in your soul, the sudden surge of strength that comes from nowhere. The gallery also held your spirit guides, the celestial beings assigned to your journey from the very beginning. They watched with infinite patience as you stumbled and learned. They could not intervene directly in the trial that would have interfered with your soul's growth, but they were permitted to offer evidence of your character. They presented the countless times you chose kindness when you were shown cruelty, the moments of private integrity, the silent prayers for your enemies. They kept a perfect record of your heart's intentions, a ledger that could not be disputed. They were the silent witnesses whose testimony carried more weight than all the loud accusations of your detractors combined. The peace that surpasses all understanding that you sometimes feel is the direct result of their presence. They are the ones holding space for you, creating a shield of light around you as you walk into this new phase of your life. A section of the gallery was reserved for nature itself. The ancient tree you sat under to find peace, the wind that seemed to whisper encouragement, the animal that appeared at a critical moment to give you a sign. These were not random occurrences. These were representatives from the natural world, testifying to your connection to life itself. They bore witness to the fact that while you may have been rejected by human systems, you were never rejected by the planet. Your energy was always in harmony with the Earth, and the Earth testified on your behalf. Finally, the gallery contained souls you have not yet met. Beings on your future timeline, the people you are destined to help, lead, and inspire. They were watching the trial because its outcome directly impacted their own destiny. Your vindication was a prerequisite for their liberation. They were watching, praying, and holding their breath because your success was the key that would unlock their own cage. You were not just winning a case, you were clearing a path through a dense jungle of deceit. Every lie you overcame, every trap you sidestepped, left a marker on the trail for them to follow safely. When the verdict was read in your favor, it was not just your timeline that shifted, it was theirs too. You are now cleared for entry into their lives. This is why you will soon meet new people, a new soul family who recognizes you instantly. They will feel familiar because they were there, in the gallery, watching you win the battle that would eventually lead you to their doorstep. You thought you were fighting for your own survival. In truth, you were fighting for the future of an entire lineage, an entire collective. You were never alone. You were surrounded. And now, as you walk out of the courtroom, vindicated and sentenced to greatness, the gallery has emptied. They are no longer watching from a distance. They are now walking beside you. Chapter 7. Leaving the courthouse. The trial is over. The verdict is read. The sentence is assigned. The gallery has dispersed. There is only one thing left to do: walk out of the courthouse. This is not a physical act, but a profound spiritual transition. You are stepping out of the energetic architecture of the trial and into the open air of your new reality. Take a deep, conscious breath right now. That is the feeling of breathing air as a vindicated soul. It is different. It is cleaner, lighter, more potent. For so long, you were breathing the recycled, stale air of the courtroom, thick with accusation and judgment. Now, you are breathing the atmosphere of your own sovereign world. You are not a visitor here. You are the architect. As you push open the great, invisible doors of that courthouse, the first thing you will notice is the light. It will seem brighter, sharper. Colors will appear more vibrant. This is not your imagination. Your spiritual senses, having been fine-tuned by the pressures of the trial, are now capable of perceiving a wider spectrum of reality. You are literally seeing the world through new eyes, the eyes of someone who knows their place in the universe is secure, divinely ordained, and non-negotiable. The anxieties that used to cloud your vision have been burned away by the verdict's fire. You are seeing things as they are for the first time. The so-called grey areas you once struggled with will now appear in stark black and white. Your discernment is now razor sharp. The second thing you will notice is the silence. The constant chatter of the prosecution, the endless loop of their accusations that played in the back of your mind, is gone. You may have become so accustomed to that background noise that its absence is initially jarring. This is the sound of peace. This is the sound of your energetic sovereignty being restored. In this silence, you will finally be able to hear your own intuition clearly without interference. That quiet, guiding voice is no longer a whisper, it is a clear, confident instruction. Your connection to the divine is now a direct, high-speed line, with no more static from your enemy's broadcast. You must learn to trust this new silence, to live within it. It is the soil from which your next chapter will grow. As you take your first steps away from the courthouse, you will carry yourself differently. There is a new weight to your presence, a new authority in your posture. This is not arrogance. It is the cellular knowledge of your own value, ratified by the highest court in existence. The scars from the trial remain, but they are not blemishes. They are your medals. In the spiritual realm, these scars glow with a golden light, visible to all as the markings of a veteran who has been tested by fire and emerged victorious. You no longer need to explain yourself, defend yourself, or justify your existence. Your presence is your credentials. Your energy is your resume. You have been tried, tested, and found worthy. The world will feel this. People will part for you in a crowd. Doors will be held open. Respect will be given, not because you demand it, but because your very frequency commands it. Do not look back at the courthouse doors. Do not reminisce about the trial. To look back is to give energy to a concluded case, to risk being called as a witness in a trial that is no longer yours. Your only direction is forward into the world that has been prepared for your arrival. The decision has been made. The case is closed. You are free. Now, walk.